Hello everyone, it's Kipor coming to you with a video, and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. It's been one of my favorite things over the course of my entire life, and I just want to talk about what's going on with D&D right now. I mean, it's not a big deal to me, the OGL and whatnot, because I don't give a care right now about 5th edition, 6th edition, or whatever the hell they're working on. I don't really care anymore. Fourth edition is my favorite. Was the first time I actually got to play, a long-term character. Because I know people who know me, they would remember like back in the day, like in like right around 1988, 89. I just became the all-time DM because I have a very creative mind and I have creative ideas and all that stuff. And excuse me, I'm a little sick right now, but uh you know, I held that role as kind of the all-time DM for close to 30 years. 25 probably is more accurate, but it was nothing that, I minded. I didn't mind cuz I'm very creative, I always come up with new things and new ideas. And I had Dragon Magazine and I had you know, all kinds of ways to come up with new concepts. So, it wasn't hard for me to run the game, especially when I bought new books every month or every week or however often they were coming out, back then, and it didn't matter. I had time and I had the effort and everything to write adventures for my friends, and we could all sit around and like eat pizza and play D&D, and a lot of fun stuff was happening back then. Uh, but um, around 2008, I guess it was, there was a huge schism amongst the D&D fandom. Like my buddy Thomas, he just scoured the internet to get all the rules for 4th edition. And he's like, dude, this sucks. And I'm like, I haven't even played it yet. Are you sure it sucks? You haven't even played it yet either. And he didn't listen to me. He just boycotted it all the way. Well, my buddy Frank at Stalking Moon Comics in Prescott Valley, he asked me, hey, do you want to like promote 4th edition, to help people understand the new edition? And I was like, hell yeah. So he gave me flyers and stuff, and I went all around Prescott Valley, Chino Valley, dropped them off, and was like, all right, so I'm promoting 4th edition, and he gave me the little box set, that helped, me run games in the new edition. And so I took it home and I learned the rules, and I was like, this is cool. Very excited to run this game. And we cleaned out his comic store, set up about 4 tables, and, when the people started showing up for the event, I was like, hey, everybody, just take a seat, and I will Dungeon Master each one of you. And my friend Jason was like, no, give me the rules right here. Give me half an hour. I'll run these 2 tables. You run those 2 tables. And I was like, all right. So I ran 2 tables, and my friend Gary was like, hey, we want to fight the dragon. I was like, okay. And so I ran the dragon encounter, and basically party wiped. I mean, I don't pull any punches when we're trying out a new system. So there was only 1 table out of the 4 that successfully defeated the dragon, and I also ran that one. So I'm just saying. But Frank, who was the owner of the store, thanked me so much for bringing all these people in there. He gave me the box set, 4E, the Player's Handbook, the Dungeon Master's Guide, and the Monster Manual in a box set. He gave that to me for helping his store get a little bit more recognition. As far as I remember, nobody bought anything. And he had them like, 2 or 3 deep on every book. And I was like, hey, you don't have to give this to me. It'll make me feel bad because nobody bought any of this. And he's like, don't worry about it, Kip. I got you. And so he gave it to me, and I got home and I started really studying. And my buddy Paul was like, hey, I got the player's handbook. You want to come over here and make characters? So I drove down to his house, and we're making characters, and I was like, okay, so what do you guys want to do? And they wanted me to run. And at this time, I was in I had a full-time job. It was 10 hours a day. I had a girlfriend that was taking up, like, the other 10 hours of the day. And I was in two rock bands. I'm a drummer. And I was in two different rock bands. We were trying to, like, figure out where we wanted to go with our sound. And, on my lunch breaks at work, I would try to write adventures and stuff. But I just kind of burned out. I absolutely burned out. And, like when we go to D&D day, over at Paul's house, and I had a cool encounter planned, but I accidentally TPK'd the whole team. And I was like, oh shit. Well, maybe I'm not, maybe I don't know exactly the rules or anything. And I don't know everything about everything, but I just needed a break from DMing. And my buddy Paul was like, hey, I really wanted Dungeon Master for a long time. And to see that you finally need a break off. And I was like, really, dude? And he's like, yeah, can I run? I was like, hell yeah. So I made my own character. Don't remember the name I gave him, but he was a Eladrin wizard with multi-class feats in Rogue. And I made it to like 12th or 13th level. Longest I've ever played a character in my entire life. And I'll have to say, like, I dominated some of the scenes in the game because, like, we defeated something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but then he did a time flash. Paul did. And I was like, no, I have friends down there in Fallcrest. I gotta go check on them. And everyone was like, wait, what? I'm role-playing my character, I had a friend in Fallcrest, and we're, like, running away from the Nenter Vale. And I was like, no, let me go check on him. So I'm, like, using the stealth feat that I got from, or the stealth skill that I got from being a multi-class rogue. And I'm sneaking all the way through there, trying to find where my buddy's house is. Now, of course, none of this was established before. But when you move us in time, and we never got a chance to establish any contacts or anything, I created it on my own. And I went down there, and I was looking through his house, and I was like, I don't know what happened here. And Paul and Sarah and Shaggy and Thomas were like, where does Kip come up with this stuff? Because it was all me, Paul was running the game. I made all my checks and everything. I was just trying to, like, find out what happened to my friends. And, I eventually run in, I feel like I was kind of being a storyteller, but I was just playing a role, I was just playing my role as a wizard that has, excuse me, I'm a little bit sick right now, but I was just playing my role as being the wizard, but I had the rogue multi-class feats. So I was able to sneak and thieve and, and backstab and, all that kind of stuff. But that wasn't the character, it wasn't me. That was whatever the character's name I came up with. And I ran down there to find my friends, but they're gone. And there's no one in the town of Falkreath at all. So I go back to the group, and I'm like, there's nothing there anymore. There's nothing there. And Paul and Sarah and Shaggy and Thomas are like, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. I've been looking. I've been trying. Been trying to find. And I can't find my friends. And then Paul was like, well, you're all together now. Now we must open the gate. And it's like, wait, what? And a magical gate opened. And it's like, what do we do? What do we do? So I ran through the magical gate. Sarah, her character, ran through the magical gate after me. Thomas Thomas went through the gate, and then Paul was like, hey, once you get into the gate, you can make any kind of character you want. Oh, Shaggy also. You can make any kind of character you want now. And I was like, no, I love the character I am. And Shags was like, yeah, me too. Sarah was like, yeah, me too. And Thomas was like, yeah, me too. And, we kind of went on from there into Paul's new world. And I can't say I didn't enjoy it, because he allowed me to play my character that I was enjoying to like 13th or 14th level. We made it to Paragon Pass. We made it like so far. Me and Shags were the ultimate team. I was a wizard, he was the fighter, a Minotaur fighter, and he could knock people prone with his horns. If he charged them, knock them prone, then I put my ball of fire on him and just leave them there. And they would just die over time. Like, I know huge meat bags, like that's a lot of the problem with fourth edition is like the enemies have, 500 hit points. You got to get through them all. But it was, me, Sarah, Thomas, Gary, or not Gary, but me, Thomas, Shaggy, and Sarah are the players. And, yeah, we got through a lot of those adventures. And we were doing so good. And then Paul kind of burned out. Because we were having so much fun. And then Paul kind of burned out. And he's like, I don't know. I don't know where we're going to go anymore. And I was like, you know what? It's fine. This is the first time I've ever gotten this high a level. And I understand it's kind of hard to challenge us now because we're so powerful. But I mean, that's, we're only midway through the Paragon tier. And we have the whole epic tier to go. And, Paul's story didn't last that long in his mind. So, we had to just keep going. And he was like, you know what? Can we start over? And I was like, well, there's so many awesome character classes in 4E. There's so many awesome, like, Paragon Pass and Epic Destinies. I would really like to finally get to one of Epic Destinies, but if you want us to start over, I got a new idea for a character. And Paul was like, excellent. Because he had his new world he was creating. So me, Sarah, Shags, and Thomas created new first level characters. And, Paul didn't have it all planned out to Epic, but we did make it to Paragon again. And it was awesome. I absolutely love 4th edition. I know a lot of people hate on it for reasons that I'll never understand. And they always say it's like a video game on paper. I'm like, you mean like the Gold Box Dungeons and Dragons games? Because, yeah, it's very much like that. But 3rd edition was like that, too. And so was, 2nd edition is what spawned those Gold Box games. So where's the argument? I don't understand it. I never have. I've never understood why everyone hated on 4th edition and they moved over to Pathfinder. Which is a story for another video. Thank you all for watching. If anybody watches this. And I just got to leave this here little snippet at the end. Joe Biden is the worst president our country has ever had. And if you disagree with me, that's fine. If you agree with me, hell yeah. But, yeah. So, this is Kip War signing off. Have a great life. Have a great day. Enjoy yourself. Play 4th edition. I dare you to hate it. Goodbye.